Hello everyone, Adam Cleary from WhatCulture here, and this is a graphic representation of what it's like to do wrestling content on the internet before the Jon Moxley interview. Yes, great stuff, I'm very lucky, etc. But here's what it's been like after the Jon Moxley interview.
It's a Cinderella story has come all this way for nothing, absolutely nothing.
Yes, all gone quiet now, haven't you lads? And for the record, our coverage of WWE pay-per-views was almost always positive. Gushing, in fact. You see, that jaw-dropping Talk is Jericho episode incinerated the WWE creative process. A process that us and all your other favourite wrestling YouTubers have been saying for years is fundamentally rotten. The talent is not the issue. The talent broadly is exceptional. It's just that it's tethered to the whims of a puerile tyrant on Mondays and Tuesdays, and that's the only person the writers are really working to appease. Thus, Mox had a lot to get off his chest, and trust me, he wasn't the only one. My name is Adam Cleary, and these are 10 WWE stars who have buried the writers. Number 10, Jon Moxley. Yes, we might as well start here since it inspired the list, that specific moment in the pod when he recounted a typical day of his life in the bubble. Moxley awoke to read a message from a writer he didn't know who asked him to say some unspeakably lame pooper scooper unicycle nonsense that night on Raw. He then spent the remainder of the day in an anxious panic attempting to hide this copy from Vince McMahon. Then a throwaway line of something like a gas mask actually inspired creative to physically give him one. Moxley, understandably, was mortified. This work dread affected Moxley so badly that he started to feel physically sick every Monday morning. He even told Vince McMahon this, and given his depiction of the COO's track record of wildly misinterpreting the Dean Ambrose character and the man behind it, it's genuinely shocking he wasn't repackaged as the new Droz. Blech. Number 9, The Big Show. Yeah, Show hated TV days as well, it seems. Long, useless, time-wasting bullshit days where you sit around all day for some freaking idea that absolutely sucks, he called them. We all have that look on TV. We walk on baffled going, why the hell are we doing this? And Show had good reason to express his contempt for the process, being, as he was, a schizophrenic, incontinent, tearful, wisecracking giant. His character arc was so inconsistent that he became not the next Andre the Giant, but a living meme. Since he had an ironclad contract dating back to 2012 when he said all this, it wasn't as if WWE could just release him. Though they did subsequently demand he knock out Daniel Bryan and Dusty Rhodes, so yeah, same. Number 8, CM Punk. Charles Montgomery Punk quite literally tore the creative process to shreds when he revealed that he was once handed a scripted promo only to tear it up in front of the poor sap who had written it. I love this story. For the benefit of those who haven't seen the Best in the World DVD, a helpful Punk made certain to bury WWE's flagship in the early years of Raw's 3-hour era. He referred to it in the middle of that very ring as dismal. But his 2014 Art of Wrestling podcast appearance was where he really went in on the pubes who'd been charged with putting words into his mouth. There's 26 writers and you don't know who they are, and they've never been in a real fight in their life. Imagine being told you have to write promos for CM Punk. An experience I imagine is on a par with having to tell The Rock you're going to chew all his meals for him and then baby bird them back into his mouth. Number 7, Lana. Yes, so Lana here, pictured relaxing on a rare day off, is what other girls refer to as a
messy bitch who loves the drama.
Yes, that's it. Long story short, she simply lives for social media catfights and loves subtweeting creative when they treat Rusev as an afterthought. For this, we love her. Exhibit A, May the 20th, when she wrote that she just loves watching shows and seeing stories I wrote and pitched given to other people. This might be the 10th time this has happened in the past year. The 10th time? Now, precisely why you'd want to point at WWE's TV product and proudly proclaim that, yes, me, I wrote that is beyond me, but still credit where it's due. Number 6, Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana's Creative Has Nothing For You show was a marvellous, ironic indictment of just about everything wrong with WWE's writing department. Just to let the base facts of that statement sink in, a wrestler wrote a far better show about wrestling than the people who write shows about wrestling. Toying with the writing staff's total inability to understand the product, Cabana exposed the rank stupidity and hypocrisy by heightening the satire. In episode 59, the on-screen writer referred to the people as disgusting so often that it was essentially a word-for-word dramatization of the production meeting that would later result in Dean Ambrose's 2018 heel character. As well as, of course, that viral video of the Scottish mother interrupting her two daughters because one of them doesn't know how to flush the toilet when they've had their
Disgusting!
In episode 44, Cabana highlighted WWE's fondness for both America's type of woman and puns. This was uploaded to YouTube in 2012, but by 2019, Charlotte Flair was saying Ken, do stick, while Lacey Evans is pushed far beyond her ability level. Bull and indeed Zai. Number 5, Daniel Bryan. Never, ever, 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 ever allow the brilliance of Daniel Bryan's heel run to distract you from the fact that he literally had to ask for the turn because WWE somehow botched his magic return from retirement. Bryan played sidekick to Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 34, valiantly failed to elevate Big Cass and reform Team Hell No in a brief but charmless sequel. Within months, the magic was gone. WWE had removed the rabbit from the hat and then beat it to death. Key moment in all of this, ahead of Bryan's dream program with The Miz, he was asked by James Dello of the Gorilla Position podcast if he could see it extending to WrestleMania 35. Bryan laughed jubilantly in the man's face. He literally laughed out loud at how bad WWE's booking is. On a podcast that he knew they'd see. Laughed. Number 4, The Revival. As burials and counter-burials go, WWE Creative vs. The Revival is weirdly one of the best feuds they've done in years. Many prefer the scintillating drama of The Revival's philosophical 2 out of 3 falls epic against DIY, but no, this is better. The bottom line here is that The Revival are on their way out, and WWE are burying them in the process. Scooting ass humiliations, burning genitals, and jobbing out to Hawkins and Ryder. Coincidentally, the Raw Tag Team division has disappeared almost entirely post-WrestleMania. But this didn't stop WWE's Twitter from dropping a video claiming that Bryan and Rowan had, and I quote, big plans for the SmackDown equivalent. Dawson's response to this? The words good luck and a cry laugh emoji. These people who work for the company are literally laughing at the booking in public now. That's where we are. Number 3, The Club. In a more subtextual burial, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows were asked by Busted Open Radio to defend their chronic 2017 ring post-itis segment. And you remember that, don't you? Oh, you've suppressed it. Well then let's drudge that one back up. The Club cosplayed as doctors and diagnosed Big E with ring post-itis, then stuck a couple of eggs in a jar to convey to the WWE Universe that yes, they were Big E's testicles. Thankfully though, that was as bad as the segment got, and oh god no, actually no, there was the worst joke ever heard on WWE TV. The good news is, Big E can now hit the high notes when he attends choir practice. Anyway, yes, when asked about it, Anderson said some of the stuff was silly and a couple of things didn't stick, and they weren't funny. I'll just run that through my wrestler translator there for you quickly, and yes, bloop 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 bleep 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 bloop 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 bleep 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 bleep. What that means is all of the stuff was horrendous, none of it stuck, and has AEW formed yet. Number 2, Big E. On the February 26th, 2017 episode of Monday Night Raw, Big E, on a live mic, said, "We have to take the shine off the shining stars," before quickly adding in, "I didn't write that." Big E, live mic, "We have to take the shine off the shining stars." I didn't write that. He buried his own line before it had even reached the back of the arena. Imagine working in a cafe, handing someone their coffee and quickly reassuring them you hadn't made that. Then imagine the face of the person you had when they definitely heard you say it. Number 1, Steve Austin. This planet and its civilization is so monumentally stupid that we have collectively hurtled to a low point at which we no longer believe experts. Like every major bad thing that has happened socially and politically over the last few years was predicted, but nobody cared because experts and facts are boring. Anyway, though, in a completely unrelated point, Stone Cold Steve Austin exploded the industry as a result of his just awesome, hilarious promo game. Nobody could ever replicate Austin's run, but everybody should still take indirect spiritual inspiration from it. He is the preeminent expert in the field of connecting with the audience as the truest, most balls-out version of himself. He is the template for pro wrestling promo success. WWE obviously does not listen to this expert. Thus, he has spearheaded a years-long crusade to rid WWE of this kind of bollocks on his podcast. He constantly makes the salient point that clearly fake scripting undermines an industry that was built on hiding the artifice from the public. He says this almost every week, burying the writers, and yet WWE do not listen to him for 1 second. It's sink, swim, or be left behind, as he famously said. And well, when they compete with Vince McMahon and the writers, pretty much everyone sinks these days. So there you have it, those are 10 WWE stars who buried the writers, and I'm not going to say a single thing against ours, because I'm fairly sure this was a Sidgwick article and the man could tear me in two. Let us know what you made of it in the comments below, and of course don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But in the meantime though, thank you so much for watching. I've been Adam Cleary, and I'll see you soon?